Live from the City of Angels, you are watching MMT, the Sunday Evening Spectacular. Tonight is our Critics' Choice Awards post-game show reaction, as we just found out that one battle after another has won Best Picture at the CCAs. In addition to Paul Thomas Anderson Best Director, also adapted screenplay. So it's still early in awards season, but obviously very good start for one battle that's been sweeping across virtually every critics group. So no surprise to see it in the driver's seat here tonight. Now, the thing that I like to see was Timothée Chalamet winning for Marty Supreme. As we go to all of the winners here via THR, thanks for being here live, as always, on MMT on this Sunday night. And you can see there's Chalamet giving a speech. It was a little rambly, a little bit unprepared, but Chalamet seems like this guy who's in the moment. I remember I met him at the Critics' Choice Awards back in 2019, I want to say, right before COVID. He had just so much energy. He's just a bolt of lightning. So it's not surprising to see him up there a little bit dumbfounded that he won, although you gotta know that he had a really good shot to win this, as I called after watching Marty Supreme a few weeks back now. This is the very clear front runner for Best Actor for Oscar, and tonight he gets it done over Leo, who's likely the number two here. You talk about Leo DiCaprio and his best performances. This is not it in one battle. Now, there's no such thing as a bad Leo DiCaprio performance, but there's no way that this ranks up there with, say, a Wolf of Wall Street, okay? And also not a fan of one battle. Look, we're talking about Sinners in one battle after another as two of the most overrated films of the year, along with Weapons, all three from Warner Brothers. And you talk about screenplays. I think those are the weakest parts of those films. And you look at Sinners winning original, and you look at one battle winning adapted, and you just throw up your hands and say, okay, right, we're in for another Everything Everywhere, or last year with Nora, right? It's just becoming kind of laughable with Hollywood. Listen, I don't think One Battle's a bad film, but this is not, by any stretch of the imagination, even near the top of PTA's films. So if he ends up winning for this, it'll be a true travesty, because you've got films like The Master. When you talk about his best overall film, that's where I'm headed. And now you win for something that's lesser, kind of like Leo. You go back to The Revenant, right? That's not his best work. So again, you don't always win for what you should win for. I think that's what makes Chalamet winning here tonight, and very likely Oscar. I think that's what makes this such an appealing win, not just for me, but hopefully for you as well if you see Marty Supreme. This is his best performance. So if he wins Oscar, you're winning for your very best work, and that's how you want it to go. So that is definitely one of the highlights tonight. We go down the list and continue here. Best Actress went to Jessie Buckley. I am not high on Hamnet. I think it's grief porn. I think it's Oscar bait. But if you ask me the one thing that I am going to pick out of that film, as I talk about all the time on MMT, the ability to extract elements from films that maybe don't live up to the hype, and Hamnet is definitely that film. But you talk about a Jessie Buckley, and you go back to Jessie Buckley, Wild Rose, 2019. Wow, right? That was a performance, and that put her on my radar. And now to see her win, I have no problem with this here, certainly over Rose Byrne in a film that is borderline unwatchable. Another tonal disaster of a film, and I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. We're talking about a lot of films nominated here that, frankly, are not nearly as great as you've been told, because we live in a world now, of course, where hype sells everything, and propaganda above all. You go back and you look at our top 12 films of the year, and I can tell you, I think that all 12 of those are very deserving, and I don't have Sinners, One Battle, or Weapons anywhere near that list, okay? So if you're like me, saying after seeing those films, what are we doing? then you're in the right place. Midnight Movie Talk here on this Sunday night. Thanks for being here. Best Supporting Actor, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. I did not see it. You guys know I am not a Netflix guy. I hate Netflix. I want Netflix to disappear off the planet. They're everything that's bad for theatrical. This channel is all about going to the movies, and I got news for you. Netflix doesn't care about that, and if they end up with Warner Brothers, I don't care what you hear out of Ted Sarandos. That is going to be a death blow, certainly for Warner Brothers, and I would argue for theaters in general when you talk about extracting things, all of the hits that we have seen from Warner Brothers, certainly this past year. When you look at Minecraft, Sinners, Weapons, One Battle, an F1 that was in a partnership with Apple. If you remove all of that from the theatrical slate, we are down even more than what was expected this year. We didn't hit the mark of $3 billion domestic. So if you extract and eliminate all of that Warner Brothers product, we're in bad shape. Listen, no one should be cheering for Netflix to win the battle for Warner Brothers. Okay, if you have Netflix and you like to stream stuff, fine. Whatever. But let me tell you, you cannot support a company that doesn't give a shit about movie theaters. And if you don't care about movie theaters, you're on the wrong channel. This is what we talk about, okay? And since I was a kid, I go to movie theaters. I still do. I have AMC A-List. It is the best investment you could ever make at $28 a month for 4 movies per week. That is 16 movies a month for $28. What is that, $1.75 a movie? You cannot lose. You can get up and leave in the middle. It doesn't matter because you're only paying the one fee per month. Best deal out there. Let's continue here. Best Supporting Actress, Amy Madigan, Weapons. Again, I can't even believe that it's nominated, frankly, let alone winning. This is another example of film Twitter hype, right? We live in a universe where people come in and start spewing a bunch of bullshit, and then people start to believe it, like Amy Madigan in Weapons. It is comically bad. Okay, listen, I get she's doing what she's supposed to do. Weapons, from a screenplay perspective, the fact that it gets any recognition is, again, proof that we have a major decline in cinematic standards. Okay, we are seeing this across every level where we have a bunch of newcomers to the space who frankly have no history and no talent in the space, and they're the ones driving the conversation and driving wins like Amy Madigan in Weapons. It's a really bad year for supporting across the board. Okay, I would go with Ariana Grande, the best thing in Wicked, better in Wicked 2 than Wicked 1. Wicked 2 certainly not nearly as great as the first film, hence it being $200 million under the worldwide gross. We talked about this morning on Midnight Movie Money, but Grande is what I extract from that film. So that's another win here tonight in Madigan that makes you just go, you wonder why I don't care so much about awards anymore, because we're not giving it to necessarily the most deserving, and that is always going to stick in my craw. I'm always going to be pissed off because why aren't we doing this on merit? Now, granted, I'm not saying PTA doesn't make a really strong technical film. You go back and look at my evaluation of One Battle. What do we say is good? The filmmaking, okay? Even Ryan Coogler and Sinners, a film, the screenplay, what are we doing here? Way too much. What do they all have in common? Weapons, One Battle, and Sinners all have the same fatal flaw. Let's put too much shit tonally into our film, into a blender, and it's not going to work, but you talk to people that don't know what they're talking about, they're going to say it works. You know how many people come in after I do my streams and they go, thank you for being the voice of reason about movies like 28 Years Later, borderline unwatchable. We live in, remember, we now have a world where anybody can come in with your microphone and start talking, and you're an expert. I got news for you. You're not. Most of you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. And the fact that I have to deal with this and I have to sit here and overcorrect, because this is about overcorrection when we say this is ridiculous that this person is winning and is likely the front runner to go on to Oscar, we've got a problem, okay? But that's what you're going to hear from me over and over next weekend with Golden Globes and eventually Oscar nominations. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff. One thing also about Critics' Choice, you've got 6 nominees. So you're not going to see that 6th spot show up in the Oscars. I don't like that. It just gives you listen, it should be the way it was. It's 5. We didn't add 6, 10 directors, I believe. Didn't Critics' Choice have 10? So it's like, stop. We are this whole inclusive bullshit, right? You earn your way through merit, and we don't need to have 10 spots. If you didn't make it, you didn't make it, okay? It's not everybody gets a trophy, but it sure as hell feels like it. Best Young Actor was Miles Caton from Sinners. I have no problem with that, although I got to tell you, we're doing a live valuation tonight of a film that I was crushing on hard. First film I've seen in a theater this year is The Plague, and Everett Blunk, this kid, oh, man. Just wait. It's coming up. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. Come in with your comments. I'll get to as many as possible here on Critics' Choice. Thanks for being here. Again, live, as always, on MMT. We talked about Best Director, PTA. I have no problem with that because, listen, again, direction's not the issue. It's the writing, okay? PTA director greater than PTA writer when it comes to one battle after another. But I do like the pick of PTA over Ryan Coogler in that it's just stronger overall film than Sinners is. Even though I don't love either of them, which one would I pick if I had to select between the 2 most overrated films of 2025? I'm going to pick One Battle over Sinners, okay? And I know no one else will say that because they're afraid of what comes with that. Well, I got news for you. I'm not. I don't play that bullshit. Everything's about merit. I have never valued a film higher or lower based on the race of a director. Can you imagine doing that? Oh, well, thank God that this checks a box. Therefore, we're going to rate it higher. If you know someone who thinks like that, just know they're broken in the brain. That's not how you do things. We don't value people because of their race, religion, sex, sexual preference. We don't do that. We base everything on merit, end of discussion. There's nothing more to add to that. But that's why I would pick PTA here in that head to head. And I think Josh Safdie would get, of these right here, of all the nominees tonight, I would go with Josh Safdie, even though I think Marty Supreme, from a screenplay perspective, needs to be tightened up. I just like his choices. I always have, going back to Good Time, working with his brother, less so in Uncut Gems, but still that raw, just really grimy kind of feel to it. And this has that, and that's what I like to watch. So I would have him as my number 1 pick of everyone here. You go to Best Original Screenplay. We just talked about it. Sinners, again, a film that throws it all in the blender and you're told works when it doesn't. I mean, I just remember watching that when it debuted way back when, and I'm there at the IMAX in Burbank, and I'm like, what? What are we talking about? How was this being called a masterpiece, right, by the early? No studio does this better, by the way. Warner Brothers packs their early screenings with shills and untalented clowns, and they come out and say everything's a masterpiece because they want to be pull quoted and they want to get invited to the next event, right? And I got news for you. There's more of those people in this space than people like me who say it like it is and actually have talent at what they're doing. This space is full of a bunch of phonies, okay? And then you end up with a film like a Sinners, like a Weapons, even a One Battle, being hellaciously overvalued thanks to those early reactions that call things masterpieces. Or remember back to Hamnet being called the greatest movie of all time by the Yuletide Log. What was the name? What was the name of the publication of that? Remember that? It was like the rolling tape. Oh my God. Literally, it just came to me. When you do this live sometimes, I knew it was something like that. I said, Yuletide Log, the rolling tape. They're both, right? Crappy names for a film thing. But the rolling tape called it the greatest film of all time. That's what studios want. That's what a focus wants. They don't want you going in and watching Nosferatu and saying, holy shit, Robert Eggers is the most overrated director, overvalued director in all of Hollywood. That's what got me kicked off of all of Focus's lists. And who gives a fuck? I don't care. Fuck off, Focus. I don't give a shit about ever getting invited. It's another thing for you. My number 1 film of 2022 is Tar, because it's a merit-based best film across every level of filmmaking. So you're going to tell me, and I'll hammer Eggers every time I get a chance. again, his brothers made one of the worst films of all time, and A24 slapped their logo on it because they wanted to get in good and to glaze Robert, the most overrated director in the history of Hollywood, Eggers, okay? And here he comes with Wolfman. I can't wait to fall asleep during that. No one is more overvalued than him. Honestly, I defy you right now. Name a director who's more overvalued than Robert Eggers. Go for it. Have fun with that. There's not. Ryan Coogler's very talented. Listen, I don't like Sinners. Again, screenplay. But you go back and you look at a Fruitvale Station. When you go back and look at a First Creed, just blew me away, right? No question, that man can direct a film. But Sinners just doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Going back to original screenplay here as I see the nominees, I love seeing Eva Victor here for Sorry Baby. Really like that film. That's a good A24 film. Listen, A24 is going to hit you or it's going to miss you big time. And I think that Sorry Baby is one of the better outputs they've had in a very long time, along with Marty Supreme. But you go back to last year, 2 years ago, and you go back to that Front Room. I mentioned the Robert Eggers brothers. If you've not seen The Front Room, you need to watch The Front Room, and you need to remember that a studio said, we're going to release this. Also, they acquired a film called Tuesday about a Grim Reaper parrot with Elaine from Seinfeld. One of the worst things I've ever seen in the history of any movie, okay? Anytime at the cinema. A24, how do you release these movies? But again, there's probably someone out there who said Tuesday's great and she is fantastic. Because, again, we live in a world where you can grab the Burger King crown, slap it on your head, and say, you're the king of cinema. I got news for you. You're not. You've never proven anything. You've been doing it for 2 days, a week, a month, a year. Try 10 years. Try a decade plus is what I've been doing here. So not on this channel. This channel's been around for 3-4 years. But at the end of the day, there is no one in this space who is more objective, talented, and fearless than me. No one. No contest. There's no one. Don't even bother. You're wasting my time. If someone says fantasy right now, I swear to God, I will stop the stream and blow the entire studio up. Fantasy's the biggest fucking clown in the entire space, alone any space on planet Earth. You can cut that and send it to him. I have no problem with that. The guy is the biggest fraud. Sean the Fraud Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Round of applause. Here's your Burger King crown. Slap it on your head because it belongs on you more than anybody else. Best adapted screenplay, Paul Thomas Anderson. One battle. Again, the weakest part of the film is that screenplay. Why? Because tonally, you're trying to do the comedy and the drama. I don't care about the left-wing shit. I don't care about all of that, okay? And yes, it is. It is definitely more of a radically leaning film. Do not even get into a debate with me. I have no time for that. Here's what I'm going to tell you, is that's not why I don't like it. I'm not the anti-woke guy. I'm the it doesn't work tonally guy, okay? Because when you try to do more than one tone, more than likely, it's not going to work. There are very few examples of films that can do that. Look no further recently. If you want to ask a film that does both, it's going to be a Parasite, right? You've got that comedy, you've got that really dark, pitch black turn, and yet you end up with one of the best films of the 2000s, certainly of the 2020s. So there is the ability, 2019. When you look at that, that's what I'm talking about, right? The ability to juggle tone. If you're going to juggle tone and you're going to do it well, you've got to be an elite plus director. And Paul Thomas Anderson is that, but he wasn't able to do it. It's not on the page. You have to have it written so it meshes perfectly. And Parasite is an example of that. I remember watching Parasite very early. I saw that film before it dropped, not at Cannes, but right after that. They screened it in LA. Knew nothing about it. I just knew that it had won a Cannes and was getting all this hype. And I remember watching that, and then we get to that, explosion of violence at the end, that flourish. And I go, oh, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I don't like this. But the beauty of what Bong does there, and this is how you juggle tone, is he's able to go from all that comedy to that very dark, and then to pull it out and end with the true chef's kiss of dad still in the house and the light. It's just, oh, God. I just remember in the theater just going, oh, my God, wow. But again, it's rare to be able to do that, to be able to take the audience on that roller coaster ride, to juggle tone, and to land the tone. Not easy, okay? And trust me, Weapons doesn't do it, Sinners doesn't do it, and One Battle doesn't do it. All three films cannot juggle the tone. If Weapons had been a dark film about only missing kids and possibly a school shooting. They're having hauntings of losing their kids. That, like a Prisoners-esque kind of thing. Then it would have been good. But the fact that Zach Cregger does what he did with Barbarian, puts all this shit in there, and all of a sudden you go, well, it's good because it's got all this stuff. Really? Is it? No, it's not. You have to have a reason for it, and then you have to mesh it. It has to perfectly come together so that you're not sitting there getting jerked around going, what's happening here? Why am I going up and down? And it's not feeling and flowing like it should. And that comes rarely. And so again, if you're writing a screenplay, let me tell you something. The best advice I can give you is do not put multiple tones in your film. Have it be a drama. Have it be a comedy. You can have a little drama with your comedy, but you cannot try to do both equally. And One Battle tries to do that. Sinners tries to do that. And then, of course, Weapons. So all three of those are great examples of how not to do that. But yet you're being told these are the best films of the year. You wonder, I mean, how much more? I've been on for 20 minutes. That's good. I think we're good. I don't need to say any more about that. But I'm dead on. And this is why I get DMs from directors that go, dude, I guess because I'm the only guy who half time will say this shit. But then the other half is they don't even know when they see it. And by the way, just a quick note. What was our number one film of the year? Talk about juggling tones. In a film that does it. It's No Other Choice. Okay? No Other Choice. No wins tonight. By the way, remember how I told you that big directors watch MMT? What was our number one film? I just said it. No Other Choice. Where was Christopher Nolan spotted the other day? Here at Burbank, AMC, watching No Other Choice. Now, listen, I'm not suggesting he watches, but I'm just telling you, there's a high likelihood. I told you guys. We might not be the biggest film channel. We're not Jeremy Johns. We are not Grace Randolph, thank God. But what we have is true dedication of viewers who know what they're talking about. Because they go, this guy's no bullshit. This guy knows what he's talking about. Most of the time. 99% of the time. That's why the gold standard. Casting. Sinners, fine, no problem. Big cast. Anytime you get a giant cast, bunch of younger actors, unknowns, people who haven't worked in a long time, you're looking at something like a Sinners that's going to win. It just makes sense. You're not going to have casting for like two roles. You got to have an ensemble, big ensemble. Think of it as ensemble, right? Best cinematography, Train Dreams, and if you're going to award that film something, that's where you go. I don't hate Train Dreams. I liked most of it. I wish I saw it in a theater. Again, it's not at AMC. It's not at Regal. It's not at Cinemark. It's at your local tiny indie theater for like 5 days. Okay, Netflix doesn't care about movie theaters. Do not tell me they do. And you look at that film winning cinematography, no problem. It's nice to see F1 here. Listen, again, I think you look at Kaczynski as a big film director. He proved it with Maverick. He's proven it here. I mean, obviously in the past, but it took him forever to come back. And Maverick brought him back, and now F1. And you're looking at a guy who knows how to shoot a big film and make it look and feel huge. Best production design, Frankenstein. Remember, we talk about production design. Listen, it's always going to be a period piece or sci-fi, right? Some kind of big world-building extravaganza. So what fits that bill? Frankenstein. That is so much production design, okay? You're never going to have a film. I also love seeing Fantastic Four here, by the way. Fantastic Four, from an aesthetic level, that 60s aesthetic, it's one of the best Marvel films ever, okay? And I think it's one of their best films in a very long time. I don't know how you guys slept on Fantastic Four. I'm not saying it's the best of the Marvel films, but it certainly is a lot better than a lot of the shit we've seen recently. It's a hell of a lot better than the Thundercocks. Dude, Thundercocks is terrible. It's bad. It's bad. Remember when you were told, oh, it's just such a beautiful portrayal of grief. It's fucking garbage. Listen, Thundercocks is not a good film at any level, and that's what I call it. Do not try to correct me. It is Thunder fucking Cox. And I'm telling you, man, it's not great, okay? So you look at Fantastic Four here. I like to see that. Marty Supreme, period piece. Hamnet, period piece. Sinners, period piece. Wicked for Good, sci-fi / fantasy. Right, there we go. I didn't even know that. See, do you see... I don't even care about the nominations. I didn't look. You don't see me doing the stream going, you know how you got the reaction guys on YouTube, right? And they're like, oh my God. Like the two twins. Oh my God. Look, it's Marty Supreme. I love that movie. And you're like, what the fuck are we doing here? The bullshit like the influencers, they get a new product and they go, oh, look at my phone. Isn't it fucking amazing? You're like, dude, it's a fucking phone. Stop acting so performatively. Listen, you're going to say Weber's being performative here. He's out of control. That's what I do. This is my stream. You don't see me going, oh my God, look. Did you see that one, the Marvel guys? We'll see if we can find it before the stream's over tonight. They brought in all of the shitfluencers and they watched the Marvel trailer and they're all like, you got Soups crying and shit. You're like, oh my God, this is the clown show you guys have enabled. You know that, right? You've enabled this world of clownfluencers to take over. And I blame you for it. It's not my fault. I don't watch it. I watched it on Twitter and just laughed my ass off. I think the tweet that I sent was exactly, you guys enable this shit. Okay, when I watch a trailer, you see me, it's snarky. It's like, this is a good shot. I like what's happening here. I don't like. That's it. You don't see me going, oh my God, look, it's some random character. Just stop. It's so phony. Why do you guys watch people that are phony? Listen, even if you've never watched MMT before, the last thing you're saying right now, this guy's phony. This is not an act. This is 100%. I just go. This is live. I push the button. Am I even live? Honest to God, I have not even seen if I'm live right now. I am live. I had no idea. I don't do this for an audience. I do it for me. And if you're watching, it's like, cool. I'm just like shooting the shit after watching Critics' Choice. I was frankly bored for 3 hours. Were you guys bored? All right, let's continue a few more and then we're going to move on to our evaluation tonight because I really want to talk about this film. The Plague is a really good film. What a way to start 2026. Okay. And it just is coming out. It's IFC. We'll talk about it in a minute. Just hang tight because I want you to check that film out. Best editing, F1, great pick. Okay, really good pick because there's so many edits in that film. You've got to assemble all those shots. And listen, it's a great looking film. It's the best tentpole blockbuster of the year, without question. It was in our top 10 of the year. It's F1, no problem. I like that a lot. Best costume design, Frankenstein, period piece. Fantasy sci-fi. And look, there it is. Frankenstein. That's where it'll probably do the same damage at the Academy Awards. And Netflix gets a win. Listen, at the end of the day, Netflix just wants Oscars. You go into Netflix's lobby there off of Sunset. I've been in that place a number of times. Not recently because I would definitely be thrown out by security at this point. But way back when, early Weber, when I first got back out here to LA, I would go to Netflix and I'd walk in and they have one Oscar. They had like a small, like whatever it was like a short or something. And then, so now I guarantee the lobby's just full of Oscars. They really want those Oscars. But as far as I'm concerned, a Netflix film is never getting precedence over any film from a Warner Brothers, a Disney, a Paramount, a Universal, a Sony, any studio. Because they don't have any true commitment to meaningful theatrical. And by the way, I've been saying meaningful theatrical for ages here. And guess who talks in those terms now? Sean Baker talks in those terms. I've heard James Cameron say that exact word. We were the first people to say they don't have a meaningful theatrical. So when I tell you that Cameron, even though I blast Avatar all the time and I say, please, James Cameron, do not make another Avatar movie. We're done. I'm not watching 3. I have no interest. But I'm telling you, they watch. I get DMs, not going to show them to you, and they're not nude DMs. I won't show. No. My DMs are open for nudes. Oh my God, can you imagine? Why not? Let's just do it. Best hair and makeup is Frankenstein again. Yeah, like we said, it's another win for them. That's why Netflix loves that shit. They clean up on the little things. It's still an Oscar to them. They can say it's a 3-time Oscar winner, 4-time Oscar winner. Didn't win Best Picture. Doesn't matter. 4 Oscars. You see what I'm saying? Best visual effects. Fire and Ash, film I'm not going to watch. I have no interest in seeing. And you have to respect me about that, okay? Listen, it's my channel. I don't have to see every movie. You don't have to make me. I see things. Listen, this year in 2026, I'm going to tell you I'm going to see more movies like The Plague. I'm going to go out of my way to watch small films. I always do. Listen, I always do. But I'm going to make an effort to see every film that's smaller, and I'm going to pass on some of the shit that I don't want to see. And that's why I'm not watching Avatar. Let me tell you the other thing I'm really going to be a stickler about this year. If I see a runtime over 2 hours, there's a likelihood I'm going to say no. We need to get these directors to get things under control again. And you look at our first evaluation here in moments. The Plague is an hour and 35 minutes. We need to get back to that. We need to get to an hour 50 max. 2 hours is the absolute no more, not a second more. And the problem is we have too many, quote, prestige directors, and they're afforded way too much in the way of runtime leniency. And you cannot. You've got to rope these motherfuckers in. You got to get these things under control. One of the reasons I'm not watching Fire and Ash, one of the big reasons, honestly, other than I don't want to see it, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. If Avatar 3 were 2 hours, I would have already seen it. And you're saying, well, you don't have the patience. Fuck off. You know how many movies I've seen that are 3 hours? My point is that shouldn't be the precedent. That should be the rare exception. That should not be the standard. And listen, Cameron is even on record saying a guy from Fox came in and said, listen, this is too long. You got to cut. And he's like, go fuck yourself. Well, I got news for you. If I was the executive, I'd say, Cameron, go fuck yourself. Get this thing down to 2 hours. And I'd walk the hell out. We get into a fist fight. I don't give a shit. I'm not afraid of James Cameron. Dude, are you kidding me? I'm not afraid of James Cameron. We would, if he wants to throw down, we're going to throw down. And I'm definitely going to throw down over runtime. I'm going to be like, no, you're not getting 3 hours. But the last one made $2 billion. This film will make is just as much if it's 2 hours, if it's 3 hours. You know that, right, James? This movie will make just as much money. In fact, I would argue more because it's shorter, because people like Weber aren't going to see it. Do you see what I'm saying? So I know I'm right. When I give you a note, I'm right. Like, I know I'm right. I'm right about everything I've just said tonight. I know it's like, well, look at this guy, big ego. I know what I'm talking about. Again, I don't just think that. I get told that from people you know. So why? I know that. Even if I didn't get that, I know that. Like, I know what I'm good at. In life, you got to know what you're good at. I know I'm good at streaming. No one can beat me in this. No one. There's not a single person in the film space that could do what I'm doing. Not one. Go, name it. Go for it. Not one. Nope. No. Because you know what? They've got 5 heads. And they're boring. Go watch Film Threat. You want to fall asleep? Go watch Film Threat. Film Threat is one of the dullest things I've ever seen. The two of them, they are Ambien on crack. Like, if you want to go to bed early, you put on Film Threat and you will fall asleep. I guarantee it. You think you have problems? Do not go get Ambien. Don't get, don't need to get like 7,000 milligrams of melatonin. You need to watch Film Threat. That's it. Whoa, holy shit. My God, you wake up like 10 hours later. What the hell happened? Well, you watch Film Threat. I mean, that's what happens. So I know what I'm good at. So don't question that. Best stunt design. Final Reckoning, only thing it's good at. God, what a disappointing finale for Mission Impossible, right? We all agree on that. No one's going to argue that. Remember when someone actually told me that that's better than the 7, right? 7 is way better than 8. No contest, right? Dead Reckoning destroys Final Reckoning. But because it was the final, everyone's like, it's the best thing. Again, you got to listen to the right people. When I hear anyone say that 8's better than 7, I'm just talking because that's the completion, right? 7 shits all over 8. 8's one of the worst finales in the history of a franchise. What a snooze fest. And then finally we end up in the biplane at the end. It's not even like, that's not even one of the best stunts. Like, what? And it goes on forever. Wow, that's bad. It's not a good film. I drove all the way to Century City to see that. I think that's the one time this year that I left Burbank to see a movie. And it was the last time because I got burned. I go, I'm not driving to Century City 45 minutes one way to watch this. Mission Impossible 8? What a disappointment. At every level. We called that opening night. We called that, actually before. Got to see it early. Paramount was kind enough. They never invited me to see anything else the rest of the year because I destroyed that film repeatedly because that's how I operate. The studios don't like that. They don't care if you love something, if you turn around and destroy something, because the destroying is worse than the love. They get love from everybody. They don't like someone like me who gets out in front of this shit and says Anora's a piece of garbage over and over and over. And don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that it's too much, but I'm going to tell you this. The reason I go after an Anora, the reason I go after a Sinners, a One Battle, repeatedly, Weapons, repeatedly, because the narrative is these are excellent films. And that's not true. So, I always say this, if the value's here, right, this is how great the film is, and then I watch it and it's like, then this is where the anger comes from. Do you see this distance? If we're talking this, I'm not going to be angry. Here, This is Sinners. This is one battle. This is weapons. The difference between the value and the actual value, the perceived value, there's a 50 feet of crap. Go back to Moneyball. It's literally that. Not going to do it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend and live in a world where the Burger King crown fuckers are telling me this is great. Not going to buy it. I'm not buying it. And that's the world we live in. And Hollywood loves that more than anything. They don't want someone saying, you're really not that good. I mean, society doesn't like that, do they? It's a little too mean. Go on film Twitter. Oh, Weber, he's toxic. Oh, he's the worst. Because your generation is a bunch of pussies. Because when you were raised, you were told you were so talented. And guess who lied to you? Everyone. Your parents definitely lied to you when you said you were talented. You're not. Jimmy, you're barely, dude, there's nothing much of anything to work with here, dude. You know, and the fact is that's reality. I don't deal in fantasy world. I deal in realities. And a lot of these kids want to pretend that they're so great at everything, and they've been told that. And the reality is they're not. The world better tell you that. But for now you can say, right, don't even get me into the whole, I'm not going to get into it. But you know what I'm talking about. You can say whatever you are. What is your identifier? You know what? You're not gonna make me say that. And that's what we live in, right? It's almost like that with cinema. You're living in a world where you're almost made to say Sinners is a masterpiece. One battle. What? You can't say that. Well, with one battle, you can more. We know why with Sinners. I already talked about it. You know, let's face facts, because that's what happens. As soon as I remember when I hammered Sinners first night, they're like, dude, you're racist. I go, wait, whoa. I think about a month ago, I was raving about Magazine Dreams, film directed by a black director, featuring Jonathan Majors, who I think is one of the best performances of the year. And I'm sorry. But see, that's the thing is, when they use that, they go, I don't know what to say then. Then you're selectively racist. I don't know. And they don't know what to do. Because you know why you are unpredictable in life? Because you're objective. And you are merit-based. You are not checking boxes. So if I say a film is bad, you can be sure it has nothing to do with the race, religion, sex, sexual preference of the director. I have never valued a film higher because it's a female director. It's never happened. Why would you do that? In fact, if anyone ever does that around you and says that, you should mock them to their face. Mock them openly to their face. If anyone says, well, and it's also directed by a woman, literally say, you can shut your fucking mouth. Like, I don't even want to hear anything else you have to say. Like, what are you doing? Shut up. If I was a woman and someone said, I like your film because it's directed by you, a woman, I'd be like, gross, what? Get the hell out of here. Don't tell me that. It's like here on the stream. Someone come on and go, we like you, Weber. You're good because you're a white guy. What? No. I like what the guy's saying. You know, maybe you like the kit tonight, which is LAFC, whatever it may be. But you're not like, it's white. That's dumb. It's really low-thinking garbage. And I just don't want to partake in it. I won't participate in it. It's never going to happen. Best animated feature, K-pop Demon Hunters. Didn't watch it. It's Netflix. You know, listen, this was a bad year for animation. But I will say, there was a very clear best film that I saw this year animated, and it was Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man's really great, and I'm pissed I didn't put it in my top 12 of the year. It belongs there. It's my mistake. It's my omission. So I'd like to reinsert a film into our top 12. It is Chainsaw Man, a film that I was like, wow, I don't know anything about this, but it still works without you having to do any homework ahead of time. That is always going to be a win in my book. And versus like a Demon Hunter, when I went in, I'm like, what? What's happening? Who's this guy? And but when you watch Chainsaw Man, it's got a lot of human moments like the great anime films do. And then you also have your battles. So you get your ice cream sandwich. You get a little of everything that you like, and it works really well. Chainsaw Man's the best film. The fact that it's not even nominated here is another laughable thing about Critics' Choice. So many things to critique about Critics' Choice, okay? The fact they have 500 members, I would argue 450 plus of them have virtually no input. They don't matter, okay? Honest to God, 450 out of the 500 Critics' Choice members have zero impact in the space. I would argue less than zero, okay? And here's the thing. I was in that organization when there were 50 members, and I left because a bunch of reasons. Number one is they were like, you can't be so aggressive about going after studios and saying this is a really awful film. Like, think any film I've went after over the years. You go back to a Poor Things, you go to a Nora, you go to Everything Everywhere. You go back to my Everything Everywhere story. When I saw Everything Everywhere early here at Burbank, not like at South by Southwest early, but early enough in the cycle, I came out. And again, I don't need any backup. When I see a film like Babylon, the very first screening of it, I told you it's garbage. It's a bad film. Babylon is total disaster. It's a tonal and total disaster outside of those two great scenes. Two scenes do not make a 3-hour plus film. Now, when I came out of Babylon, hammered it. When I came out of not One Battle, but Everything Everywhere. Well, One Battle too, but Everything Everywhere, I think my exact tweet was, I'd like to start a club of Everything Everywhere is the most hellaciously overvalued film I've seen in a long time, but I'm afraid no one else will join me because they're afraid. One of the Daniels came in and replied and said, hey, thanks for watching our movie. We got your money. And I was like, dude, give me a fucking break. Your movie's so overrated. And then he actually deleted it. I think A24 probably said, don't even encourage that, because remember, you're building narratives. So if the narrative is the film is great, don't put any oxygen in someone saying it's overrated, because someone will come along, like other people definitely who notice the same thing, and go, look, I noticed the same thing. They want to just keep that out of the conversation with the hive mind to rule. And what happened was A24 found out that Daniels bitched the A24, and basically they were constantly complaining, and it was over. I didn't get ever invited to another A24, major thing. And even though I turned around and loved Marty Supreme, but here's the deal. I don't care. I don't want to be part of fucking Critics' Choice. I don't need Critics' Choice for anything. I've been to that event. It's fine. You get stuffed into a table. It's not on my highlights of the year. So ultimately, if I have to hold back, if I have to restrain my words, and I got to filter it, and I've got to censor myself, there's no chance I'm going to be part of that shit. I am going to attack whoever I want, whenever I want, with due cause. Just cause, I'm in. I'm going to do it. So Critics' Choice will not allow that. Look, how many of these Critics' Choice members I drag all the time? The shills and the people that just are really untalented. And I have no problem doing that. Listen, if someone wants to do that to me, they can, but the reality is they're full of shit. They know that. That's why they don't even bother. Because if you want to, I'm just telling you right now, if you want to roll up in a live stream situation, in a one-on-one, I will fucking gut you. It will be literally you getting completely annihilated. There's no reason. Don't even bother. You're insignificant. You can't hang. It's not even worth the fact that I'm even mentioning this shit. But that's the realization. Critics' Choice has a bunch of very forgettable members. I would argue across the board. I can't even think of one who's a great film critic. They are very, listen, maybe a Leonard Maltin going way back, obviously, old-time critic. But of the younger critics, you've got people like Jake Hamilton, Jake's Takes. You've got that dude who came here from D.C., moved out to L.A. to be a big movie guy when there's no money in it whatsoever, especially for a guy like that who offers nothing but shilldom, right? Here's Mr. Shill. He should just call himself Mr. Shill. He might be bigger if he called himself Mr. Shill. The guy from DC, I forget his name, he just moved out here. You got people like that. You got people who are literally ass kissers for Hollywood, and that's your group. They get in there and they're like, oh, we love everything you do. You're so great. They would never have the balls, the fortitude. They just don't have the courage to exist in a space that I do, which is destroying some of this shit when it's warranted. Not unwarranted, but warranted. They don't even know what that's like, because they'd be like, well, I'm afraid that I'm going to get called out. I'm afraid that I might not be able to go to the Critics' Choice Awards and sit in the corner, in the back, crammed in to a table of 20, a round table, you can't move. They're afraid of losing that, because you know what? That's all they have in their miserable little lives. I'm in here from Tennessee. I'm in here from Kentucky. I'm in here from Arkansas. And sorry, all of you that are from there and you love the channel. I'm just going to drag it. And they're like, I'm out in LA and I'm making it in the world. Look at me. Here's a selfie with a star. Listen, I took selfies with stars. There's plenty of them. You can find them. In fact, I can probably find one of me and Chalamet. In fact, since he won tonight, let's find me and Chalamet from a long time ago. Give me a second. I will find it. Let's go to X. This is thrilling, isn't it, guys? Weber looks for his selfie with, I told you I met him. Because here's the thing is, I need you guys to understand something, is that when I am saying that something happened, you guys need to understand that it happened. Like, I don't have time to make stuff up. Everything I say is true. And here, oh, there it is. Hold on, damn it, where do I go? You ready? Here it is. See, what did I say? What do you want? If you ask, here's the deal. If I say it happened and you want a receipt, I got receipts. I am the king of fucking receipts. I will stamp a receipt to your forehead. Here's the receipt. This is Chalamet when he walked in. When was this? This is 2019. So at the end of 2018, into 2019, January, there he is. He was a ball. Dude, this guy's just energy. And there he is. He threw up the finger, so I go, I better do something like that. That was Chalamet. See, so if I say it happened, it happened. I've been to Critics' Choice, man. If there's one critic who's actually a star, like if I walk around there, the stars are going to be like, dude, that's Weber. I know Seth Rogen knows who I am. I'm 100% certain. But here's that's what the rest of these critics are like, who's that? Holy shit. That's the awards ace. You damn right it is, baby. So but you know what? Here's why. You know why they know that? Because of what I bring to the table. Because I actually stand for something. Because they go, that guy will actually destroy shit. These other people, you're never going to make a name for yourself. Not that that's why I do it, but people respect authenticity. And I think there's one thing. What do you get out of this? You get Weber's authentic as hell. Okay, straight back. I just quickly on that. Best comedy, Naked Gun. No, you know what? Of these, okay, quickly, comedy. Ballad of Wallace Island, Eternity, Friendship, Naked Gun, Phoenician Scheme, and Splitsville. Ballad of Wallace Island. What a great little film. I really should have had that in the top 12 as well. If you've not watched Ballad of Wallace Island, really good film. I also like Eternity, but I like Ballad of Wallace Island a little bit more. Very good. One of the better screenplays. If not, I'd put it in the top 5 screenplays of the year. Film that came out earlier this year from Focus. Oh, speaking of Focus, I said Focus is the worst, and I just said your film's good. That's what makes me good, right? The ability to trash something and turn around and say it's good. Look no further than Begonia. Begonia is by far Yorgos Lanthimos' best film of the last 3. In fact, I would argue it's definitely Begonia number 1. Then it goes Kinds of Kindness, and then it goes Poor Things. Poor Things is like 50 Feet of Crap, then Poor Things. Poor Things is bad, okay? It's a bad film. Also troubling film. Very troubling. I'm not going to get into it. Very troubling film. Okay. Listen, how is it not? Okay. Emma Stone gets her baby's brain implanted into her head, and then she goes on to proceed to have sex with dudes for the rest of the film with her baby brain, experiencing sex. Oh, okay. Well, that's not troubling. No, nothing weird about that. And Hollywood's like, oh, wow. You wonder why. Wow. What a fucking film. Begonia, on the other hand. Begonia is a film that's dark, right? And what I love, and I said this, if you have not seen a Begonia, without giving it away, you're sold a premise and you're given the premise. That's what I want. I was so afraid in Begonia you'd be sold this and that. No. He goes there, and then the end is super dark and weird, which is, it works, man. And it also, I think, is very predictive programming. I do, man. Don't get me started here. I won't do a MMT Gets Freaky tonight. Don't make me start. But I'm just telling you, there's a lot of shit in Begonia that I do not think is by accident. Best foreign language film is definitely not Secret Agent, film I walked out of way over long, and also a tonal film that's not really working. It's not a bad film, not a great film, and I don't have time for that shit anymore. It's not an accident. It was just an accident, not a great film. Walked out of that film as well. No other choice in Surratt are on a top 10 of the year. Surratt, I think it was 11 for us. Surratt comes out for you probably coming up here in the next few weeks. Surratt, the score is unbelievable. Hold on, I think I have a little bit of the score right now. Let me see if I can find it. Do I still have it in here? It's unbelievable. I'll just play it for a second, just so you can hear it. Because I want you to go see. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I want to do. I want to be able, this is Surratt score. I want to be able, when you get done watching this, to lead you to the right things. That's what I want to do. That's the number one goal here. The goal is not for me, well, it is to shit all over it, all kinds of stuff too. But Surratt score is unbelievable. Just wait, it's going to kick in. I'll just crank it for a second. All right, hold on. Let's go back and finish this. So you asked me what are the best films from the foreign language? Absolutely. It's going to be Surratt and our number one film of the year, no other choice. Best song, Don't Give a Shit. Best score, Ludwig Göransson's Sinners, one of his worst scores. Of those, I would put definitely OP and Daniel Lopatin for Marty Supreme. And then also, how is this not in the best score? Surratt. So this is like the opening scene too. It's like in the desert, they're getting ready for a rave, and it's like, I'm like, So this is how good this was. I saw it on a screening link. When I start to hear this, I had my TV without the like sound set up. I don't have my Dolby, surround sound. It was all ready to go and I never bothered. And as soon as I heard the score, I grabbed all the shit and started connecting chords. And I'm like, hold on. And boom. I was like, here we go. So I'm looking forward to see Surratt here in the new year. Is that cool? This is like a total MMT song. All right, get ready. It's time. Let's go ahead and do this. I've done enough of that. We'll get to comments, I promise. I just want to get to this right now. It's our live MMT evaluation of a film I really like. It's called The Plague. And it just came out. I'm going to tell you why you should see this film. We turn down the Surratt music. Here comes a taste of The Plague, and then we're going to get into our live MMTE. As always, we don't do these taped, we do them live. Here we go. Here's The Plague, and we're on in about 30 seconds.
First day in camp. Pretty good.
No, yeah, good.
You know, this whole thing could be a little daunting. Pick it up!
I like that quote. I really do. By the way, I'm going to pause right there because you've seen enough. This kid right here. Oh, my God. What a first-time performance from this kid. I believe it's his first one. Everett Blunk. He is just lights out. When you see this film, this kid captures all of the innocence and the trying to fit in, the awkwardness of being a 12, 13-year-old kid at this water polo camp. And it really digs into that. We all remember what it was like to be back in 6th, 7th grade, right? Trying to impress the girls, trying to fit in. This film really does a great job of making that feel very grounded, very real. Also, it really falls back to that honest ensemble. All the kids in this film are tremendous. And that says a lot about this director. Listen, it's got a first-time director here. And from a directorial aesthetic, really cool shots, shot on 35 millimeter, all the things that you go to the cinema for. And that's here for this film. And I think that you really are just talking about a film that is piercingly accurate preteen portrayal. It's fun to say, right? But it really is. It'll make you kind of flash back to when you were a kid. They were 12, 13 years old. And all of those feelings of not knowing exactly who you are and how can I stand out? How can I be part of this clique? Very cliquey film. This film really strong, man. I was very, very pleased with my first film of the year. 91% for The Plague. If it is available near you, I highly recommend this. Anytime we're in the 9s here, you're talking about a film that has a chance to possibly be in our top 10 of the year because 90s are not handed out right and left here. So 91%. I love the runtime. It's an hour and 35 minutes. I'm talking about, man, can we do more of that? So, and by the way, listen, I didn't know this when I watched this film, but guess what? When I went to Wikipedia, I clicked on the director, said, tell me about this guy. First feature. Guess what? And this is why we're the gold standard. No surprise. His next film's already been picked up by A24 because they saw this. The first thing I would do if I got done watching this and it was like, hey, this is a new director and we're looking to acquire this, I'm an IFC, I'm a Neon, I'm an A24, whoever it may be, ZYX. I am getting on the phone, getting a hold of this dude, and I'm like, listen, man, we want to get your film. We want to buy it. And I'm just blown away. Wow, what a feature debut, dude. You've got some talent. And that's exactly what A24 did after watching this film. So, listen, again, I know. When I see it, I know it. I might not always be able to tell you what it is, but I can know. You just know it when you see it. And this is a film that you know it when you see it. The kid's going to be big. The director's going to be big. This is a very hellaciously strong start to 2026. Everybody go check out The Plague. Highly recommended. Let's get to a few comments, and then I'm going to Get to Salt today too, Rob. Talk about getting the most out of a 90-minute runtime, the perfect length, and let me completely satisfied. Exactly right. I was all in on this. Every second of it, because there's very little wasted space, and the kids are so natural, and it captures that awkwardness of that age. And man, it reminded me of, Rob, and I think you will agree with me here, having seen it. It reminded me of Let Me In. I mean, Let the Right One In, but for me, listen, I saw Let Me In before I saw Let the Right One In. If you don't know what Let Me In is, oh God, you want to know how you know you have a director. You look at a Matt Reeves and Let Me In. And I was in Orlando when I saw that film, like on a Tuesday. I'd heard it was good. I go, let's go see. Everything about Let Me In, I would argue, is even better than the original. But you look at the end of that film, right? It's got a lot of that bullying. It's got a lot of that clicky stuff that we all remember from that age. And this film feels like it's tangentially connected to Let Me In. And that's high praise. Really high praise, because Matt Reeves, when you watch Let Me In, wow, you will be blown away. That is some of my favorite filmmaking of the past 2000s. You talk about a film that no one discusses like as being a great film of the 2000s, Let Me In. You wonder why Matt Reeves is directing The Batman years later, because they saw Let Me In. They see it, right? I mean, yes, Cloverfield to a lesser extent. You still see, I think, a really well pulled off film. I like Cloverfield a lot. The trailer, one of the best of all time. But you look at Let Me In from a filmmaking perspective, he is, you should. You absolutely should have a lot of stock in him. If you ask me directors that I can't wait to see their next film, it's Matt Reeves. Not The Batman. I want to see anything Matt Reeves does. Yes, I want to see Batman 2. I told you, quick story, if you haven't heard this before, since we have new viewers all the time, quick story to tell you the power of MMT. When I went to see, what was the name of that movie? Holy shit. The very forgettable James Gray movie from a few years ago. Armageddon Time. Okay, here we go. So I walk in, it's at the DGA here in LA. I finished up at the gym. I come in my tights and I look like, who's this guy? And I came in and I sat in the back row of Armageddon Time. It was like a Friday 3:00 screening. I sit down, I'm like on the end, I'm like, everything's good. And someone taps me and I go, and it was, two-story, seating between us. And dude had a mask on, right? Because it was during COVID. It was kind of the COVID time. He had a mask on. And he's like, hey, you're Erick Weber, right? I go, yeah. I go, how you doing? Good. And he's like, Matt Reeves. I go, no. Good, dude. He goes, yeah, you're talking all this. You talk a lot on Twitter. I go, yes, that's correct. So like I said, listen, guys, I'm not kidding you. I know this. I don't say this for ego's sake. I say it so you understand that the power of what we say here ripples. It's not like your average thing. So even though, again, our views might not be Jeremy Johns or Chris Stuckman or Grace Randolph, but I can tell you this, the respect for the gold standard is way deeper and stronger than maybe you realize. And I know that. And I'm fully aware of that. And I think, again, it gets back to why. Because if a film is great, and it's earned, I will truly cherish it and uplift it and push it. If I hate it, I will absolutely destroy it nonstop. That's just what you get. But I think people respect that these days. You get so many phony ass bitches, right? So many, especially in the film space, so many phony people. I can't stand phony people. And in this town is full of phony people. To have someone that, truthfully, if you meet me at a screening of Armageddon Time, that'll never happen again. I will be the same person you see now, just a little bit chiller, because I'm just like, in general, this is a little heightened, but it's still very authentic, right? This isn't thought out. Only thing I thought out was some of my basic talking points here tonight. I'll get to a few more comments here in a minute. But yeah, it's such a great film. If you knew the story of the Batman Phantasm be out for revenge, I don't even know what Batman 2 is going to be. I just trust in Matt Reeves. Honestly, I don't even want to know. I don't know. Was Roy Lee a producer on this? If he was, he knew. Roy Lee watches the show. Roy Lee's a big producer. I know, he told me. I told you guys. Roy Lee watches MMT, and Roy Lee is producer of Barbarian, Late Night with the Devil, weapons. Now, listen, he did not like me hammering weapons. I know he didn't. I'm sure he didn't. Roy, I'm sorry. But you at least know that it's honest. I'm not trying to. I do think Zach is very overrated. But, listen, I also respect Roy he makes some really good horror films. I don't know if there's a better producer now in the space than Roy. So I don't know if he was a producer on that, but I can tell you this, The Plague's a very, very good, strong film, man. I mean, listen, I've sat through a lot of crap at movie theaters lately. To sit down and watch The Plague as the first film of the year, maybe we're on to something this year. Okay, in a second, we're going to get started on Sung Sung Blue. I have to find the actual YouTube. I just want to get a second of it, okay? Because I need you to see some of what I'm talking about with Sung Sung Blue. Sung Sung Blue is not a great film. And I'm going to tell you why. As soon as I find the trailer, just give me a second. But here's what I'm going to tell you, is that coming up after Sung Sung Blue, I have We Bury the Dead. I saw that film weeks ago. I did not get to it, so that is coming up. I probably should do it now, but I've already started with Sung Sung Blue, so I'll make this quick. Sung Sung Blue is not going to take long to do, okay? Because there's not a whole lot that I do not need you to see Sung Blue. But here, let me see if I can find a quick little spot. Give me a second, like 30 seconds to set it up. Here it is. Here we go. You guys ready? Here's 30 seconds of our second live evaluation tonight. It is Focus Features Sung Sung Blue here on MMT Live. Here comes 30 seconds, and then we go.
I don't usually dress like this. I'm a hairdresser part-time, but any chance to sing,
She look all kind of good, don't she?
Yeah! They shared a dream. I just want to entertain people and make a living, and nothing would stand in their way.
God, hold on. This shot, oh my God, this is where I go, are you kidding me? Okay, I'm going to get into the review. Just give me 1 second. This shot, it was shot as, the director of this, I think, did Dolomite, okay? So he tries to be all cinephilic and take the shot from the kitchen to the window. This shot made me laugh my ass off. If you've not seen Sung Sung Blue, you can imagine what's going to happen, but it's not just about this. It's the fact that she's not even able to hear the car coming. Oh, God. Okay, it's almost over.
Everything still feels scary. But if you're there with me,
Oh, God.
I'm not afraid anymore.
You're my August night, my September morn, you're my crackling Rosie.
I think you see some of what I didn't like right there from Hugh Jackman, right? Hugh Jackman, when he's on, he's great. When he is too much, it's like you. Again, we talk about this all the time, right? Modulating your performance. When you are an 11, like he is all the time, I need you to bring it down to a 9, even as a Neil Diamond impersonator, as this guy who's trying to make it as this musician in Wisconsin. It's just too much from him. I mean, I still love Hugh Jackman. I mean, I really am a huge fan of him. I think he's hella talented. But the note for him almost universally would be dial it back. And now something like Greatest Showman, go for it. This film should be based on a true story. It is based on this real band. You should be more grounded, just not going for so much here. It's one thing to deliver an authentic performance. It's not the easiest thing. I don't believe it is, because people get either too high or maybe sometimes too low, but typically it's a little too high. Listen, Sydney Sweeney's the opposite. Sydney Sweeney needs to ramp it up. She is low wattage. Hugh Jackman needs to crank the volume down just slightly. It's not like it's bad. It's just he needs to get to the right spot on the dial. Kate Hudson is exactly where she needs to be in this film. She's playing this Wisconsin accented singer that grounds Hugh Jackman's character, and she's getting the majority of the praise here. And when you see the film, you understand why. Now, yes, she is fun to watch. The film is, you talk about hella overlong. This film comes in at 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes. Dude, this film should be no longer than 145, 150, and you really feel it. It has multiple endings. I was hoping someone would die, okay? When she gets, you saw what's happening with the car there. Not her. I was just hoping that one of them, whenever it was going to happen, they were going to die soon. You just want the film to end because it just keeps going and going. We've told the story. We get it. You're this local band that made it big in Milwaukee, where I used to live years ago. Great, fine. Tell it to me in 145. I can tell you this. If I was at Focus, and I'm going to destroy Focus again, the fact that Focus allowed Song Blue to be released the way it's released at the runtime it is without any notes clearly, if I were in a test screening of this and they said, Weber, watch this, I would come and say, where's the director? Are you fucking kidding me? You need to lose 15 minutes out of this. This scene needs to go. That needs to go. You need to bring this down. This song goes on too long. What are you doing? I would have a laundry list of notes, but they released it because these studios just don't have control anymore. I talk about this all the time. Listen, I'm going to say it again because I get away with it because I'm right, and you know it. Harvey Weinstein, piece of garbage human being, okay? But we talk about this all the time, right? We're going to extract something from somebody, okay? I go back to Chris Benoit. Talk about this all the time. Chris Benoit, greatest technical wrestler of all time when it comes to pro wrestling. I mean, no one was more vicious and just rabid, the rabid Wolverine than Chris Benoit. Oh, by the way, he killed his wife and his kid. Okay, so you see what I'm saying here? I am still able to take Harvey Weinstein. The one thing that man was able to do that was good for film was to get directors under control. And I always go back and I talk about it, Andrew Dominic, right? You go back and look at his Jesse James, you go look at Blonde. These movies go on forever. What film did not, right? Killing Them Softly came in at 140. Killing Them Softly is a very good film. Got a horrible cinema score because it's a downer, but it's really great. I really like remember who shot that film. Go back and look at The Batman. You've got Greg Fraser on the cinematography on Killing Them Softly. And you talk about some of the shots, right, with Ray Liotta in the car and the glasses flying around. I remember watching Killing Them Softly going, this is a film. 140. Why? Harvey Weinstein. So listen, I'm allowed to say that, and I'll say it. You cannot take that from me. I'm saying only the ability to get directors under control. And we need more people like that. I would love to do that. I would love to be the guy. I would walk into any room, and there's a whole episode, and I told you guys Seth Rogen knows who I am. I'm telling you right now, he definitely watches MMT. There's so much of what we talk about here on the studio. If you've not seen the studio from Apple, trust me, I've had people were messaging me going, they watch MMT. This is clearly from that. The episode with Ron Howard, having to tell him to cut that out. This scene goes on too long. The film should end. But they didn't have the balls. I would have the balls. I'd be the guy. Bring me in. I will be the closer. I will be the guy, the cleaner. I will be the Michael Clayton who comes in and gives you the advice. Remember Michael Clayton when he goes in and tells the guy who got in the drunk driving accident? That's me. I would come in and I'd be like, listen, wow, bro, this is way too long. Like, listen, Dolomite, it's not bad. I liked it. But here, you've got some stuff to work with. You got to bring this in. And listen, Hollywood, I'm here for you. My DMs are open. If you want me to come in, I'll do it anytime. Any director. I don't care who you have. I don't care if it's PTA. I don't care if it's James Cameron. I don't care if it's Coppola for sure. Holy shit. I mean, after Megalopolis. I mean, I would have definitely gotten into a fist fight with Coppola after Megalopolis. Oh, we would have thrown hands. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Francis, this is a desecration of cinema. You made this shit? You paid for this shit? Oh God, man. Really? No, you did? How much? Over $100 million you spent on? Oh my God. Okay, listen, here's my advice. You need to listen to me on the Michael Clayton film. That's so good, isn't it? When you look at your work here, you need to Batgirl this. Now, I know you probably don't know what that means. So let me explain it to you. Warner Brothers had Batgirl. They made the film. It was all ready to go. And then they just said, forget it. It's bad. We're going to go ahead and throw it in the trash. And we're going to take a tax credit. Well, in this case, I don't know if we can get a tax credit because you spent, how did you say 100? Holy fuck. Oh my God. 100 million. Because we're going to tarnish your legacy with this shit. Comically bad. Like clown shit. Okay. We need to put this and make sure it never sees the light of day. Like I'm talking, we're going to Batgirl that in a vault even lower. Right? We're going to put it so far down that if there's a cataclysm like in Greenland too, which is going to be our evaluation on Thursday, it's not going to reach Megalopolis so it ever sees the light of day. Do you hear me? Do you understand me, Francis? And then he'd get angry and say, what are you talking about, you punk? I'd be like, listen, bitch, I know what I'm talking about. This is trash. You better seal it away in a vault and let it never see the light of day. That's my advice. Take it or leave it. And I'm the Michael Clayton. I'd clean it up. I would clean this shit up. That's what I would do. And you guys know I'd be like, I would be 60% on this, really bad. Listen. I could go off of Megalopolis for like the next 2 hours. We're already at an hour and 7. This is already way too long. I still have one more evaluation to do, plus comments, plus maybe a trailer watch. This is an extended edition of MMT because I'm on it, first of all. And second of all, we're talking about Critics' Choice Awards, so it's a big show. Next week, you wait till you see next week. I might be on for 7 hours after the Golden Globes, but tonight we'll go a little longer. But I'm not kidding you. Vanilla Coco. Dude, you saw Megalopolis. My reaction to Megalopolis, when I saw that in IMAX, they had an early screening, I was violently angry. I was furious. I was on the aisle. I went up to the vestibule, the little, the area in between, right? It's like the bank vestibule. It's not really closed off, but there's an area at the IMAX you can go into the corner and kind of be on your phone and no one can see it. I was so angry that I was going to walk out, but I can't review this film if I walk out. I walked out of Alto Nights. Alto Nights, unwatchable. Barry Levinson, holy shit, he aged and got terrible. Let me tell you something that I see over and over, and we've talked about it if you're just watching for the first time. When you get old as a director, you are screwed. Listen, I say this on the stream all the time. Do you expect me at 80 to be able to do what I do now at XX? No, you don't. You won't. Trust me. You'll be like, this guy's slow. This guy's bad. I mean, right now you could argue I'm bad, but not slow. Definitely not slow. But as you get older, you lose your faculties. And what have we seen? Coppola, Mann, Ridley Scott, Cameron with a 3 hour and 15-minute runtime. They're getting old and they're losing their shit. And I've seen it happen repeatedly. One of the fewest Scorsese's able to hold, right? Because Killers of the Flower Moon, by the way, in addition to our wall now tonight, do you guys see it back there? Killers of the Flower Moon is up there now because I really like that film. It's a very good film. Scorsese did not lose the fastball. We talk about Ridley Scott. You look at Gladiator 2. Oh, God, guys, when I watched that shit, what? Who made this shit? What is this? And remember, we didn't even know that night when I came out and I destroyed that film. I didn't even know that months later the cinematographer would tell the story that Ridley Scott has no patience anymore and he just shoots shit. The cinematographer's like, we're not ready. We have to. He's like, I don't care. Shoot it. Just like Eastwood when he shoots a film, it's like, it looks like so generic because he just goes in and goes, that's good. First take. He's not Fincher. Take 78. 79. Right? One more. Let's try another. From the top. No, he's like, we're good. That was one take, Ridley. We can tell. It's Gladiator 2. But the cinematographer's like, we're not even like in position. That's you. But I knew that. I don't even need to know the stories because it's there. It's right in front of you. Like, dudes, it's here. I mean, that's the thing that drives you crazy too. When you do this as many movies I see and as much as I've done this and the experience I have, some people just don't see it. It's like speaking a foreign language, right? I don't profess to speak anything. I took Russian in college. I don't know how I got through that course. I think I knew da and yet, spasiba. No, I mean, I know nothing. If you're Russian on the stream, I cannot even say anything other than those 3 words, and I think I butchered all 3 of those. So don't ask me. But my point is, right, if you don't know how to speak a language and someone's speaking, that's how I feel when I come out of these. Some people just go, what? Like, I used to have a friend I'd go to movies with, and by the way, we're not friends anymore. I couldn't do it. We'd come out of a movie that was like really poorly directed or very marginal. Like, go back to a movie like Paint. Remember that movie with Owen Wilson? Really awful direction. Like, oh my God, you want to see a film that's really poorly put together? Watch the movie Paint. It's bad across every level. But he'd watch it and go, well, that was fun. I like that. Did you not see that? What I can't, right? I can't be around people I don't, what is it? You don't suffer stupidity. No, what? Suffer fools. Thank you. But yes, it is suffer stupidity. Like, you don't suffer fools. When you're around someone who doesn't even understand it and they're saying like something's great and they don't know why, or they know it's bad and they don't know why, you got to say why, right? I give you reasons. Okay. I give you the many reasons why a film is bad. And sometimes it's not always about the direction. It's the screenplay, or the screenplay's good, the direction's not as good. Typically, you're going to see the screenplay be worse than the direction because screenplays have gotten progressively worse, certainly. And I'm not talking about anti-woke or woke or whatever. We're talking about just in general, the writing has gotten so much worse. Technical directing, I think, across the board is pretty strong. We see more films that are well directed, or at least very competent at least direction. Because listen, if you can't competently direct a movie, and I mean assemble it, right, the way breeze, the way it looks. It's aesthetic. If you can't deliver that, then what do you got? I got nothing. You got nothing to offer me. Okay, let's do our last evaluation. It's We Bury the Dead. Give me 1 second. I got to find the quick, see if I have a spot for that. Like, I mean, when I say a spot, like a 30-second. Here, okay, there's a clip. Hold on, let me see. Here it is. Got it. 30 seconds. I just like to set these things up. Do you guys appreciate that? Do you appreciate the fact that I set these things up? I don't just like, this is like, I'm producing, I am hitting comments, I am analyzing, I am riffing. I want some love. I want love now. If I do not get love, the stream's over. Okay? It's 100% done if I don't get some love starting right now.
The odd ones that do come back online are docile. You have nothing to fear.
If you find your husband, I hope you understand what that could mean. They're getting more hostile by the day. Just a little further.
Daisy Ridley's back and We Bury the Dead. Remember that movie that she was in where she played the window cleaner from a few months back? Daisy's Die Hard. That was laughably awful. Bad film. This one's better. Now, one thing I'm going to say about We Bury the Dead, it's a much smaller film than what that trailer leads you to believe. All the big shots are included there. It's a very intimate film. It's not really a traditional zombie outbreak. I like the zombie twist premise. It's like a test bomb, and then it went off, and then, or not even a test bomb, it's like a test something rather. Dude, it's been weeks since I saw it. And then the human beings are coming back to life after being exposed to radiation or whatever. So it's not a true zombie kind of like dead. It is dead back to life. It reminded me more of Handling the Undead, which is a very great, oh my God, Handling the Undead. Woo-hoo, that's a great and depressing look at grief. Oh, I love that film. This is tangential, but not nearly as good, okay? But I do like the premise twist. I was expecting traditional zombie. It's not that. The runtime's short. That's good. I think you get into a real problem with this film about an hour in. It's pretty short. It's about an hour and 40, I want to say. But about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour in, you meet a soldier, okay? I don't want to give away the movie, but there's a soldier. And then we go back to the soldier's barn area farm thing. And then the film stalls out. It really just loses momentum. I wish there were more in the screenplay. I think screenplay's thin and we need to expand. But remember, because the film's very small and low budget, it doesn't look that way. But trust me, when you watch We Bury the Dead, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It is very intimate. And the low budget gives you constraints upon what you're able to put in the film. So when you have a bigger budget, you can go a little bigger because your effects can cost a little bit more and you can shoot in a bigger area and with a bigger production design, right? All that stuff. But when you are something very small and intimate, you better have a great script. I think the script's the weakest part here. I don't mind the filmmaking. I don't hate this film, but it's definitely not something I say run out to see. 75%. It's better than Daisy's Die Hard, whatever that was called. The cleaner, the washer. Was it? She was the window washer. Remember? She was scaling the buildings outside, doing the squeegee. What are we doing? This is better, but like not much. We Bury the Dead's okay. Trailer's way better than the film. I got this on a screener link a few weeks ago and I forgot to review it. That's my fault. Frankly, I forgot most of it to show you some idea of what. Yeah, Keira Knightley career path kind of, right? I mean, Daisy Ridley, right? Star Wars, she's going to be the next, and then it just didn't work out. She's not a box office draw. Go back to that Woman in the Sea. Remember that thing? Bomb, like huge. It was a very limited release by Disney, and it did really awful numbers. You could tell because there's no one in the theaters. Like, people don't go to see Daisy Ridley in a movie. In a way, I don't even know if she's enough to even bring a film like We Bury the Dead out. It made $2 million this weekend, $2,000 per screen, which is okay. But, you know, she's not going to draw people in. She's a name I think people know from Star Wars, no question, right? And she's done some things, but you know, is she going to move the meter, as we like to say? No, she's not. And you can see it again, this film, you know, she's going to be destined to a bunch of these borderline made for DVD movies, which is The Cleaner. I believe it's called The Cleaner. And then We Bury the Dead. Okay, let's do a trailer watch because I think there's a couple we got to get done because remember, it's our Sunday night show. I'm not going to do a show for a few nights. We got to get that out of the way. Here's a trailer reaction. Let's see what we got here. Oh, you know what we haven't watched? I have not watched the Thor Avengers. Okay. Now, guys, I'm going to do my best acting here. Okay, everybody? I'm going to pretend that I'm one. First of all, let's watch it real quick. Give me 1 second. I got to find the reaction. Did you guys see this the other day with the Avengers Doomsday? The reactions? Okay. Let me show you. Hold on, I'm going to say. Let me find it. I'm not prepared. Remember, I'm doing this live and it's way past when we should be off. Give me 1 second. Let me put in Avengers trailer reaction. Okay, we're on X. Give me a second. I got it. Okay, here we go. I'm finding it. Okay, Twitter, Dr. Doom. Here it is. I got it. Okay, here we go. Hey, guys, ready? Get ready. Here it is. Now listen, I'm going to watch it after we watch them. This is them watching the trailer, and then I'm going to do my best to ape what we see. Here we go.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
It says press play.
You only ever get to just watch something for the first time once. Like, this is it. Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh!
Oh my God, what is this?
I also want to point to your fact that this is the Rainbow Coalition. You don't think that's planned? You don't think? Like, we have one of everyone, which I can't stand. I can't stand that. Like, why do we have to have one of everything? Like, I'm not the anti-woke guy, but I can't stand, like, in movies where we do that. It's like, why do we have to? If the cast is all one, then so be it. Why do we have to do that? You watch, the studio has a whole episode about that. Oh, there he is. There's our boy. There's our boy, Soups. Soups, you might have a goatee like me, but you'll never be as cool as me. No chance, bro. I mean, like, never. Look, he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry.
That theme! It's just hearing that theme.
Oh. Jesus. I'm sorry, guys. This is, hey, I'm almost done. I'm gonna do my version of this in a second. I gotta make sure I'm watching and taking notes.
Oh my gosh!
Notes.
Oh my gosh, I'm like...
First thing I got is this. Hold on.
Oh!
It's so sweet! Dude, I can't breathe. Oh my god.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do my best. This is the Thor one. I've not seen it yet. I'm gonna do my best. Oh my god. Holy shit. No. What? Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh my god. No. Oh, Thor's back. Holy shit. Oh my god. I need this now. Give it to me now. 11 months. No. Is that good? Would Marvel think about using that? Would they consider using what I just did? Did you guys? I feel like I kind of nailed that. I honestly, listen, Kuzma, that was wrong. I had no plans to do that. This is now. I am live here at 8:21 on a Sunday here in LA. I did not have any plans to do that, and that is live. And I think I could. Do you think that I could be? Do you think I could do it? I think that we can take this channel to another level if I just become a really phony ass shill. We should do a parody version of that. I'll do a stream where I'm a shill. One of these times, we'll call it the parody MMT, and I will act like a Zach Pope or a Soups. You don't know who Zach Pope is, and you don't need to. Thank you. And Mark, you know what? The fact that you, Mark, remember that's exactly, I was featured prominently in the 400th episode of NCIS where I play one of the goons in glasses. I know you guys were like, this guy's done. Listen, when I tell you that my life's been a little of everything, you need to trust me on this. I have done serious thespian work on major network television. And the fact that you think I could get 200,000, I mean, I feel like, listen, I already have, for those you don't know, I already have an Emmy. So, I mean, at some point, how much more do I have to prove? I've just proved I can all of a sudden pretend to be a shill. I've got the Emmy sitting here on the desk, along with Marcel the Shell. I mean, listen, some of the things I've collected here on the MMT desk, but I think overall, I feel like I could absolutely do that. Oh, like a combination of Soups, Fennessy, and Johns. It kind of is, right? I can do the job. You know, I'm doing a Jeremy Johns. He's like that one critic, the Italian guy, the funny guy. Yeah, you man. I went down and I saw the movie. I got my leather jacket on and I saw it. And I don't know what they were thinking with this movie. If you haven't ever seen Jeremy Johns, that's what he does. That's his whole. I'm doing Trump right now, by the way. It's all he does. And then you also have, well, don't even get me started about Grace Randolph. We're not watching Grace Randolph. We're almost up to an hour and a half. I'm done. You got 7 minutes. I'm out of here. I'm ejecting this thing at 1 hour and 30 minutes. 90 minutes of live with only a couple of breaks, 3 evaluations, 1 trailer overreaction, and a bunch of Critics' Choice. Let's go ahead and do the Comment Blast closeout. It'll be extended here tonight. Let me hit that. If you ever watched, this is where I answer as many comments as I can at the end of the show. Let me get the song back up because I'm desperately asking you to go support films like Surratt. Surratt comes out soon. This is from the score of Surratt. Here we go. I'm going to crank this. You might hear this more than me just because I dig this. When you go to see Surratt, the opening scene is them putting the speakers up. They're in the middle of the Moroccan desert. And all of a sudden, I go, what? I was like 2 minutes into this movie and I'm like, oh, I'm getting cinematically erect because this is where I'm at. You guys know 99% of the times when I start a stream, I'm playing some kind of cool electronic song. Tonight I didn't, just went right into it. We just got right into it, which some of you say that's how you should do it. I want to do a show. I want to show the music. I want to show. So tonight on the way out, we'll do the music. It's that thump. Right there. Then you got them all out there doing like the rave shit. Guys, I was DJ Webslinger in Columbus, Ohio. Look it up. I don't think there's any records of it, but trust me. Put in DJ Webslinger, Columbus, Ohio. If anyone's ever saved anything from that time period, it's me. I was on the decks, and that's what I did. I played at raves. Vinyl to vinyl. Techniques, 1200s. Plus and minus 2, whatever. Plus, hopefully no more than plus minus 4. That's too much. You got to crank too high. DJs out there know what I'm talking about. It would have been an honorable mention, probably. You know, there's a lot of films I left off the list that I liked, like Lurker. This is so like progressive house techno, right? Like whoever did the score, I forget the guy's name. What would my score to sound like? It reminds me a lot of the score of what's that? Pipeline. We slaughtered a pipeline. What was the name of that movie? The neon movie. Something pipeline. We killed a pipeline. We blew up a pipeline. How to blow up a pipeline. That was cool. This score was awesome. Yeah, listen. That's what this is. This is from Surratt. Yeah, I did fail. Luis, I failed on Lurker and Chasing Man. My best of the year list was kind of missing a bunch of stuff like Ballad of Wallace Island. I kind of failed. It's okay. It's all good. Nothing. I can't change it. It's too late to switch any of that. But, you know, it's live. I say this all the time. Look, I do this show live, so there's no guarantee that it's going to be the same show again. I could do this show again, like, from the start, and it wouldn't be the same show. Because everything's in the moment. Now, the evaluations might be similar, but even those might be different, because I might just all of a sudden, like, riff on something else. A lot of times I just feel something, and I go, let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. In the comments, yeah, for sure. In fact, if I had a full-time producer, Gone Girl's being lazy as fuck tonight. No, it's fine. I'm good. Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, certainly it's the Spirit Awards, right? It's very good. Guys, it should have been an A24 film. I don't know how the plague wasn't. Like, A24, you fucked up. Neon, you fucked up. Like, I don't know how you didn't acquire that. Dude, that's what I want to do. I've said this before. I had people from Neon. Neon watches. Did I tell you what Neon did? Neon has hooked me up. They sent me, what did they send me the other day? They sent me a bonsai tree for No Other Choice. Because they like me because I say No Other Choice is the best film of the year. But Neon, I would hook you up with that film. I would say we're getting this film. Like, as soon as I get done with The Plague, I almost said The Plaque. When I get done, like, on your teeth, right? It's close. It's one letter off. When you look at The Plague, I would walk out immediately after seeing that at a film festival or wherever it debuted. I don't know where it debuted. Was it, I want to say Cannes? Wherever it debuted, I would be on the phone with whoever the rep was for the film, who was looking, for sales, and I'd say, we're in. We're going to offer you, I would say $3 million, at least 3 to start. I'd say we're in for 3, and then let's see what happens. And then if no other bids came in, then we'd be good. If other bids came in, I would go as high as like 8. Because listen, ultimately, you're not going to be able to make that much money with a movie like Plague. But I would want it for my portfolio, so I would go up to 8. I mean, some of these films sell for like 15, 20 million, right? And they're not even good. But the fact that IFC ended up with The Plague tells me it didn't cost that much. So that tells me that they really kind of screwed up. And that's a mistake. Like, you've got to get that right. And I don't know how that happened. I'd love to talk for someone at Neon, A24, why they didn't pick that up. One of the things, I hate to say this, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of the reasons why The Plague probably got passed on is the fact that it features a pretty much all predominantly white cast. And I'm just going to be 100% honest with you guys. Sorry if you don't like this. It's what it is. Hollywood operates in that, again, we talked about the checking boxes. This film doesn't check boxes. And the fact that the majority of kids in this film are white, it's water polo. I think the majority of kids that play water polo are white. That's my guess. But right, it's again, predominantly white cast. That is problematic for some studios. Or if not problematic, it's just, it doesn't prioritize it. Which is, you know how fucked up that is? We talk about it all the time. The fact that if The Plague had more diversity, then maybe we'd think about buying it, because we're not doing that. Like that, I'm telling you right now, if we were in discussions in A24 Neon, I'm in the office and we're all having a discussion about The Plague, and someone even brought up the fact that it's a white cast, and trust me, someone did. I guarantee it. Don't even ask me. They did. Because that just hit me. Because you gotta understand. You know why it doesn't hit me? Because I don't think that way. So I had to get my head there. I have to go, what could have prevented that film from being sold? And then you say, oh, that's right. Everyone's pretty much white. And I know you guys don't think that. Some of you know that matters, but you don't understand in Hollywood it really matters. We've seen films that are not good picked up because of representation, right? Because it features this and it's heralded as that. But I'm telling you right now, if I was ever in a meeting and someone said that, I would lash out. It would be really bad. It would be an ugly situation. I'd be like, I don't know who said that, but if you ever say that again when I'm here, you're going to be fired. We are never going to acquire anything because of representation. We're going to acquire good films. If that means all black cast, all white cast, all Asian cast, I don't care. Okay, I didn't dislike Everything Everywhere because it was an all Asian cast. Just like I didn't really love Decision to Leave because it's an all Asian cast. Or Parasite, Return to Seoul, Shoplifters, all Asian cast. But again, that's not why you value a film. But trust me when I say this, it devalued the film. It's sad. God, that's sad. Neon A24, come on and refute that. Come tell me that's one of, I'm right. A24 is one of the biggest studios guilty of that shit. They really push female directors, certainly LBGTQ. And again, I hang out in West Hollywood, so don't even start with that shit. But my point is that's not why you acquire a film. It has never been. I would never even think to ask, what's your sexual preference? Who fucking cares? Do you guys care what my sexual preference is? Who gives a shit? Now, if you make it part of your thing, that's fine. You can talk about it. I'm not saying you can't talk about that. My point is that's not why something's good. But we live in that world because it pushes a cause. It pushes something. And I'm telling you right now, it's garbage. It's a garbage mentality. I can't stand it. I'm not an anti-woke guy, but I have a distaste for crowbar. Well, listen, you just said it great. You just absolutely said it fantastic there. And welcome to the channel, by the way. Can't even read that. What does it say? Something Christ. Listen, here's the deal. You said it perfectly. Crowbarred in. I say absolutely shoehorned. Right. Either way, just wedged into a film. And I'm telling you right now, Christ. Speaking of Christ, it's everywhere, and I can't stand it. If I ever saw that in a film, I would actually not acquire it. Like, talking about acquiring, I would say we're not buying this film because that's disgusting. I can't stand that shit. And again, it's not anti-woke. I don't want it to feel anti-authentic, inauthentic, phony, forced, crowbarred. Stealing that, buddy. I'm gonna steal that. I'm giving you love though, but I'm stealing it. 100%. Like, just jimmied. Let me just wedge this in here. No, how about not? Last roll. This is the last time around for the Surratt. It's not even the theme. It's like some other song with Surratt remix or something. And then we're out of here. A few more comments, we're out of here on this Sunday night. I've gone an hour and a half. What do you guys want? But you guys know I'm right. The funny thing is listen. What? Elizabeth Olsen, what? She's so hot. God, she's so hot. I mean, listen, well, yeah, that's the thing is, right? I kind of give away my sexual orientation when I say that I would totally be down with Elizabeth Olsen. I mean, because she was totally down for me. Listen, guys, I don't make this shit up. She was totally digging my shit. We were talking about Mary Magdalene, Marlene, and she was like, We talked for, I kid you not, 10 minutes. If she's a big actress, even at an event. If you're talking to someone you're not sort of interested, you're not talking for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I know. I have good radar. I can tell. I get signals. And listen, Lizzie is what we I call her. Lizzie Olsen is drop dead. Oh my God. I'll never forget. I was at that event. I was at the Beverly Hilton by the pool, and I looked across the pool and I went, oh my good fuck. Oh, I almost fell in the pool. I was this close to just tipping over into the pool and going, holy shit, that's Elizabeth Olsen, and she is drop dead. And not just, by the way, not just gorgeous in facially, because she is, but her body is, can I just be really blunt with you, banging. Okay, like it's not right, it's all one beautiful thing. Weber, you son of a bitch, you can't talk this way. You're gonna get, he's so problematic. He's such a pain in the ass. Well, yes, I don't know what her personality, I think her personality was good. I don't know. But I don't, she was cool. All of a sudden I can't get any comments in. I don't know what's happening. I think I lost my comments. My thing's like falling apart. I think I have too many tabs open. All right, we're almost out of here. That's what happened. My computer's like, dude, you've used up all of your RAM. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for tonight. That's the end of our song. I can't hit any more comments, so my whole thing's freezing. I don't even know if I can stop the stream. I'm gonna have to pull the plug, literally pull the plug. But thanks for being here on this Sunday night special edition MMT. We are back. Literally, no, nothing is working for me. I don't think even the end stream. What happened? Did I hit some kind of lock button here? You're stuck. No, I'm not staying here. I will yank. I swear to God, I'll yank the fucking cord. I will yank the cord out of the computer. There's the end of the song. Thanks for being here. See you back here Thursday for Greenland 2 and Primate. I'm going to see Primate probably tomorrow, AMC, Scream Unseen, likely. And then Greenland 2. Wow, I know, right? Wow, Thursday night's going to be so exciting. Primate and Greenland 2. Here's what I promise you. When I see Greenland 2, we will roll that out to an MMT Gets Freaky and talk about how the end of the world's coming. Does that work? I think that works. That's a great 1-2 punch. You're getting the predictive programming and the theme of reviews. Okay, honest to God, I'm not kidding you. It will not let me stop. I'm gonna literally, there's a button that says end stream, and here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna literally click the X that cancels everything. So once I hit the X, it's gone. There's not even like any kind of, it's just gonna be all the, get ready. It's gonna, when I hit it, it's gone. It's The stream is over. I mean, what's happening? Goodbye.